Thursday, January 14th, Lesson 5-2, pages 276 to 277, problems 4, 6, 7 through 13. Problem 4 says write an expression equivalent to the expression -3 plus 2/3 y minus 4 minus 1/3 y. There's multiple correct answers here because they're just asking for anything that is equivalent to this one. So I'm going to show several that could be correct. And one of them simply is looking at the operation signs here and changing the operation signs that are subtraction to addition, but then changing the sign on the next value to its opposite. So one of the possible equivalent expressions to this one could be -3 plus, that's a plus, so I'm going to keep that, 2/3 y. Now this one I'm going to change. I'm going to change this to a plus and this to its opposite. So I'm going to have plus -4. And I'm going to change this subtraction to a plus, and this is going to become -1/3 y. That is one expression that is equal to this original expression. Another one that is equivalent is just simply rearranging these in any order. That would be the commutative property. Here I applied the rule that I can use additive inverses, but now I can just shuffle everything around because we have addition for all of our operations, and addition is commutative, subtraction is not. So another one that you could have would be, let's say, 2/3 y plus a -1/3 y plus -3 plus -4. That is an expression that is equivalent to this expression. I could also combine like terms. And if I did that, I have a positive 2/3 y and a -1/3 y. So when I combine those, I would look at the coefficients and I would do the adding. 2/3 plus a -1/3 is going to give me 1/3, and I need to keep the y with that. And then I can combine the -3 and the -4. When I'm adding like signs, I keep the sign and just simply add the absolute values of these two. So I'm going to keep the negative sign, and 3 plus 4 is 7. That's another thing I could do. All of these are correct. Number 6. Use properties of operations to write an expression equivalent to 4x plus 1/2 plus 2x minus 3. Again, they're just asking for an equivalent expression for this one. And I can use any property that I want. The additive inverse is not a property. The properties that I would be using here are the associative, the commutative, or the distributive. Those are the properties of operations that they're wanting me to use. So when I look at this expression for number 6, I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, and I have 2 of those terms are x's. They have variables with them, and they happen to be the exact same variable. And 2 of the terms are constants. In other words, they don't have a variable associated with them. So those would be things that I could combine. Or I could simply, because they want me to use properties, I can simply rewrite this using parentheses somewhere. That's the associative property. So because they're specific on the properties, I think I'm just going to keep the order and the exact signs of everything that they have. And I'm just going to put in a set of parentheses somewhere. I'll just put my parentheses right here. Now, you could put your parentheses right here. You could put them right here. You could put them as I did. You could put them right there. You could put them here. Anywhere you wanted to put those parentheses, that would be showing the associative property. If you want to use the commutative property, you do have to change this to a plus and this to a minus, because commutative property only works with problems that show addition. So 4x plus 1/2 plus 2x plus -3, to show the commutative property, then I would just rearrange these in any order I wanted. I'm just going to rewrite it backwards from front to back. Now I'm showing it with the commutative property. Number 7, the instructions for 7 through 9 say write an equivalent expression. So again, any equivalent expression will work. Number 7, because this is multiplication, -3 times the quantity, everything in here, I cannot use associative and I cannot use commutative. So I have to use distributive property right here. So I'm going to use my arrows and I'm going to multiply -3 times everything inside the parentheses. -3 times 7 is -21. Going to bring over my plus sign. -3 times 5g is -15g. So this is the equivalent expression. If you wrote -15g plus a -21, that would work as well. The only reason I have parentheses right there is to show that this sign goes with this number. If you don't want to use parentheses for that, then put your negative sign right up close to that -21. It's usually raised up a little bit. Number 8, again, same instruction, write an equivalent expression. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the associative property and switch my parentheses. So an equivalent expression here would be x plus 7 plus 3y, and I'm just going to choose to move my parentheses. I could have chosen to simply use the commutative because I'm doing all addition. So I could just scramble these up in any order. And I could have written 3y plus 7 plus x. Because all it wants is an equivalent expression. And both of these are equivalent to this. Number 9. You can see that we do not have all addition right here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do the multiplication first. So I'm going to take 2/9 and I'm actually going to change that to plus a negative plus a negative, and I'm going to multiply the negative 1/5 times my x. This is an equivalent expression. I did not have to use properties of operation, so it's okay that I changed this and made this its negative, its opposite, and I just showed that these two were being multiplied this way. I'm going to do the remainder of the problems in another video.